All right, Filament, Tasselfoot. I don't really think I need to say anything else. Take it away and blow our minds.
Wow, well, that's definitely an opening. Hey guys, I'm Tasselfoot. We are here with the puzzle game Filament, came out earlier this year. We're in an early screen at the beginning of the game right now. I'm just going to show you a little setup that we do for one of the tricks that we do before the run starts. You'll see this right in the beginning, but we access this little thing, and that's it. And then we wipe our save file, and then we're going to start over. And then the run is going to begin as soon as I can access the save file again. All right, we can count it down. Get right started with 3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, Filament is a puzzle game. The closest comparison I can give to it is The Witness. It came out in like May or June, April, sometime during the pandemic earlier this year. Super fun, casual game, highly recommend it. So basically there are going to be 3 glitches that we're going to do at the beginning of this run. The first one is that if you noticed, we started loading the game from the save file and not from the main menu play game. This allows us to start moving out of this cutscene faster. Don't know why, but we're going to move right there. Otherwise, if you start from play game, you can only start moving after docking complete plays. And so what we're doing, the point of this whole game is to basically solve these puzzles and light up all of these little nodes in these rooms. And so this is just our tutorial at our start, and this is right where we were in the setup beforehand. And so basically what the setup does is it triggered that thing and it opened this anchor. So basically that is a forced audio cutscene that we skipped by tricking the save file into thinking that we had already watched it. Now, she's going to be concerned that we haven't picked the radio up, and she's going to start bugging us until we pick it up. But we're not actually going to pick it up because we picked it up before we started the run. So, hello? 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 So these puzzles are all just really easy, so we'll just keep saying hello over and over again. And so this would actually play for the entirety of the game, except we do another trick right when we finish this anchor, and that's actually going to cancel it out. Very thankfully, because the hellos get, they get grading really early. So we're going to switch save files to a different save file. It doesn't matter which one, and then we're going to go back. And what that does is, A, it cancels that glitch out, but B, it skips another audio cutscene. There's a door that we're going to walk through right now, and that door is closed until this cutscene otherwise finishes. So you see, we're a natural. At the end of this cutscene that she's going to talk about, she's going to be like, oh, hey, let me get that door for you, except we're already going to be finished with the next set of anchors as she does this. So this is negative. There are, I believe, 14 different puzzle types. This is a glitch. Oh, there we go. It's called cheese, or we call it cheese, basically. It's any non-stable door opening solution. There are 6 of them in the run. I'll explain how that works a little bit later next time, but for now, I'll get back to just talking about the negatives. Get squeezed through there. So the negatives, we want to get all of these, like, silver nodes, and we don't want to touch the dark purple ones. They're going to turn our butt rope dark, and then if your butt rope is dark, the door won't open.
Court protocol is to allocate every loyal.
So just like The Witness, this entire game is open from the start, at least the first anchor. So all of these 14 different puzzle types, just about all of them have 3 anchors. I was on the wrong puzzle. I was on the next one. They all have 3 anchors. Each anchor has 5 puzzles to it, so there's like 15 puzzles of increasing difficulty for each puzzle type. So it really will explore the depths of the creativity of each design. And surprisingly, even though the negative is right at the beginning, I actually think they're some of the hardest ones. But so the cheese, this is another cheese level, and we're gonna do it. Oh, come on. Really? Cheese? Come on. There. So that didn't even save time because it took us 3 tries to get it. But so basically, the way that works is that players were getting stuck indoors on some levels at the very beginning when this game released. So they kind of made it so that if you're standing right in front of a door, it can't close. Even if the solution is no longer valid and it wants to close, it can't close. And so that's how we take advantage of it. So you have to like kind of move quickly and be standing right in front of the door to get it to work. But if you do it, you can then exit. And so this is -3. This is, for the speed run, in my opinion, the hardest anchor in the entire game. There are a ton of these nodes that are like right next to each other, and it's very, very tight movement in and around the negative spaces, like through little gaps like that. There, nowhere else in the entire game is as tight as it is -3.
It's fine if you're not.
Yes, I am real. And also, I want to make sure that you guys pay attention to the voiceover narration, because you're basically going to get the entire plot of the game throughout this 50-ish minute run. There will be a quiz at the end of it, so please make sure that you pay attention. Take notes if you need to. This level was really fun, casually, but it was super buggy for a while for the speedrun. There was like 4 different places that your rope would turn dark for no reason, but thankfully the developers have fixed all of it. They've been really good about trying to fix all of the issues that us speedrunners and other casuals have reported. There's still like 1 or 2 stragglers that remain. I found one earlier in my practice run today, even. So we're finished with the negatives now. And so most of the routing for this game is A, in the levels themselves, but then B, in which anchors to pick, because this is any %. We don't have to do all of the anchors in the game. And then also the movement on the world map within the ship. The alabaster. So this is another cheese. I am not having first try cheese luck here. We're 0 for 3 so far, so halfway done and not so great. So this level is the final tutorial anchor, basically. It's called Basic 3 or Regular 3, something like that. It's basically just continuing the tutorial. So there's no special tricks here whatsoever. It's just straight, easy puzzle solving. It's the easiest of the main anchors in the game, which is to say it's still kind of tricky, because this is a really hard game.
So, Pluto, despite having been here all but a single orbit, you're already making far more sense of these anchors than I ever did.
And we'll finish these up.
Really my area of expertise.
Again, just more basic
nothing to do with it.
levels.
I admit. To tell you the truth, I'm still not sure what these things do. They were meant to stop some spike on some graph that I'm told was
Here you go, you're getting the plot.
with the minor side effect that literally all systems are no longer remotely accessible. Useful, right?
Yeah, guys, come on. This is Friday morning right here. They're supposed to be in school, so definitely you're getting pop quizzed, without a doubt.
It doesn't seem people are too unhappy about this, because Dungo donated $25. Hello, you in the dungarees. I can see you speedrunning over there. Pick up the pace. Pick it up. Hello? Hello?
Hello, Smongo.
Yeah. And another $15, I incentivized some people. I might have slightly coerced them because they might not get any heals in gacha games. The big L, which is Lauren, $15. Hashtag library represent.
Nice, thank you for the donations. Smongo is a world record holder. 3 seconds faster than me for this game currently. But some new routes were just found earlier this week by a new runner to the game, which is really exciting. So pretty much, new world record, I think, is going to be free. Not really, but maybe. It'd be great. Get it sub 51. Oh, so we're in a new set here. This is pairs. You can see we have colors now. And some of those nodes have nipples on them, and some of them don't. The nipples you have to hit first in order to trigger them. This is the wrong way. And when then you go around, so you can't go and hit nipples out of order. You gotta make sure that your pair of nipples is correct, right? You don't want to be touching one nipple from one color and one nipple from another color. That's just uncouth.
But you can't guess what the other is, though.
And yep, definitely will be on the quiz. There are 2 types of calorie paste, and one of them tastes like mangoes. This is one of the levels that a new solution was found. It's like 8 seconds faster than the old solution because this level used to be like the worst level in the game with ridiculous backtracking. So shout outs to Bowden on finding that awesome new solution that saves 8 seconds. So you need to get all of the non-nipple nodes as well, but some levels have like more than one nipple for a color, so just further adds to the complexity of the puzzle solving. Overall, this game's like super chill, as you can tell, the relaxing music playing in the background. Moving on to pair 3.
Looks like you're actually getting somewhere. Go team.
Go team.
Take down Bree's life into my console up here. It's amazing.
That's Juniper, if you guys didn't get it. She's the one that's talking to us the whole time. She's stuck in the cockpit. More cheese. Hey, we got a cheese. First try. That's actually the easiest of the 6 cheeses in the run. So, I would have been slightly annoyed if I hadn't gotten that one. Yeah, you can't cross butt ropes. It's part of just the laws of Filament. It becomes a little bit more complex when you start getting more than one robot. Spoiler, there are some sets where we have more than one robot, and you can't, like, robots can't touch other robots' butt rope. Like, that's just inappropriate, so, you know, don't do that. But yeah, they don't like it, and it turns their rope dark if another robot touches it. It's a bad touch. These are robots. I wouldn't say that they are male or female. We don't need to gender the robots. So we're finished with pairs. We're gonna move over to requisite here. Requisite basically just means that in order to unlock certain nodes, you have to highlight previous nodes. We're only gonna do requisite 1. That's my phone ringing.
No, you certainly dress like one, but there's nothing to salvage this far out.
I am not gonna answer that right now.
Well, I had an arm swapped out, in case you were wondering. My eyes, too. I'll admit that the arm was just to get back at my mom for something.
Cool. I can turn that off while still running this game. Pretty nice.
I don't even remember why.
What song do you want to hear? The same song once more?
I'll never be where I am today without them.
What? And see, I'm getting lost. So yeah, so we skip, I believe, 10 anchors in main game for any percent, as opposed to doing all anchors. And requisite 2 and 3 are going to be the first ones that we skip. They're the only ones that we skip on the first floor. So we're now done with the first floor. But so requisite 2 and 3 are both really long, and they are also out of the way from a mapping standpoint. So they're easy choices to not do. So just completely forget about requisite because we're done with it real fast. We are now on to wrapping. And so you can see, like, there are 3 little nodes here. That means that those pairs of nodes, or three notches, I guess I should call them, you have to wrap around them 2 or 3 times, however many notches are on the side, but it's not limited to just one specific node. Sometimes nodes in wrapping are connected to each other, and then in which case you only need, like, the total number amongst them. So this set is where things start to get, like, really big-brained.
Guide humanity into a new age. Sounds great, right?
And so we're there we go. Wrapping 1.
You know, the more I look at those dungarees,
Yeah, my dungarees. I love the fact that, so we're Pluto, if you guys didn't get that. That's on the quiz.
I get that. Unfortunately,
I love the fact that Pluto is wearing her space helmet throughout the entirety of the game. Like, she's inside the ship. Why wouldn't she take her space helmet off?
Filament uniforms really lacking in storage capacity.
Yeah, filament uniforms don't have pockets, apparently. That's part of the lore now. What sort of evil corporation would design their company outfits and employee wear to not have an appropriate pocket spaces? It's not good, man. You can tell. You can tell that that is not a good company. That is totally the wrong way. Ooh. We wrap around. So these levels do blend together a wee bit, which is why I am a filthy cheater. I try not to look at it too much, but I have the solutions to every level up on another monitor. And I peek over. It's got to be done. Only thing that matters is going fast. Cheating is allowed. So we're going to also skip wrapping 3, so we are done there. We're going to move over to Jigsaw. Jigsaw is another one we're going to be on really, really quickly. It's one of my favorite sets that I did casually. So basically there are patterns on the floor, and you have to get all of one pattern before you can do any from another pattern. So that's not really evident yet, but hopefully it'll make sense here. So you can see that pattern, and then it lights up when you've done it, and then we do the next pattern.
She's sharp. She could have gotten us out of this, I'm sure. Oh, not that you aren't doing a fantastic job, by the way.
And again, Jigsaw is going to be another set where we only do the first one. The Jigsaw 2 and 3 were super fun to solve, in my opinion, but they are very, very long and windy solutions because of the forced nature of the floor grids. And I teased it. I teased that we were doing some anchor sets here with multi-robots. So here we go. There are 5 cats also, if you guys are listening to the plot behind me. 5 cats. So if anybody needs to adopt a cat, Sable is the name of the cat and was pregnant and then had kittens. And so there are extra kittens.
400% more cat wasn't a welcome addition to my life.
Every time I hear 400% more cat, I always think 400 more cats, and then I'm just like, oh god, the ship is full. Crazy cat lady is here. More cheese. Let's see if we can get this one. This is, yep, that's one of the easier cheeses as well.
I got on well enough with the rest of the crew. Good people, you know? Sure, Canary could be a bit abrasive. Although Vermilion proved to be
Cats and cheese sounds like the perfect dinner. Oh, sorry for interrupting.
No, you're fine.
Bowden just dropped another $10 saying, dang, Canary can bake.
Oh, we haven't gotten there yet. That's a spoiler, but yes. Damn, Canary can bake. We will get there in like 2 minutes. Thank you, Bowden, for donating.
Just a quick shout out to the next
what am I doing?
Upcoming incentive. 2 hours until Ape out the additional level, and we're already halfway there. And someone wanted to see the boss rush for Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. 125 bucks. You all are amazing. Thank you.
Nice. You guys are killing it with the donations. Last cheese of the run. Boom. So we started slow on the cheese. 0 for 3 on the first one, but we nailed 4, 5, and 6. So we batted 50%. If we were playing baseball, that's really good. If we're taking a test like you guys are going to be at the end of this run, it would be pretty bad. This is our last of the multi. We are not going to do multi 3 because multi 3 is ridiculously big brain. It has 3 robots in it on every level, and the swapping back and forth that you need to do between 3 robots and the just manipulation is super tedious and very long. So we move right along to Arch. Arch is very similar to wrapping, except instead of going around nodes, we have to go through these, you know, little I don't know, stargates, whatever the gates, I don't know what to call them. I don't have an official name for the lore, but
You never believe it from her personality.
but damn, Canary can bake.
She made this unbelievable chocolate cake. We all had a pretty great time that night. We needed it. Marmalade especially.
Lady Marmalade.
Wasn't in the best place.
I wish that was a joke that we could make, but Marmalade is male, so it doesn't work.
So during the journey over here, something small collided with the hull. Due to the fact that we were
So now we're getting into the real parts. The lore that was going on here was all kind of introduction. Oh my god, go around the node, please. And kind of giving basic backstory about the characters on the ship and like what was going on. But now we're getting into like the start of the Sinister, and the start of like why Juniper, our narrator, is trapped in the cockpit.
Marmalade, though, he was nervous. I could see him shaking while we suited up.
And it all starts with this spacewalk.
I did what I could to reassure him, and I thought he was holding in there. And he almost got himself killed.
Yep. It was a near-death experience. So this is one of the rare lulls in the voiceover. Most of the time through this run, it's just constant narration because of how fast we solve the anchors, and the fact that until you unlock the bridge, spoiler, we're gonna get to the bridge at the end, there is story the entire time. So the main anchors after you unlock the bridge, there's no story, and then most of the bridge anchors, there's no story, but every single anchor until we unlock the bridge, there is voiceover and plot. So we're gonna skip Arch 3 because it's slow. It has one of the longest levels in the entire game, 3-5. We're gonna move on to Constellation. Constellation is awesome. Just look at how pretty it is, how like relaxing and chill. Also super fun to solve. The gimmick is that you can't stray outside of the lines of the, you know, constellation that you formed from the nodes. So lots and lots of looping. Downside to that is that Constellation 2 and 3 are very, very slow. So as is becoming my broken record, we are going to wind up skipping Constellation 2 and 3, and we're wrapping up Constellation 1.
It was a relief to find the ship was still drifting after I moved them. Well, you know.
So all done with Constellation. We are just flying here.
Drifting the way it was. Not on my own, at least. Eventually.
These are the screen levels. They're gonna look really confusing to you guys and kind of random because there's like no indicators. But you'll notice that there's like an iPad somewhere on the wall and whatnot. And so if you read that iPad, it basically cryptically tells you the correct order for all of the nodes. I really liked solving these casually. I found them a lot of fun. I know a lot of people didn't. That was actually one of the things that I found really interesting in sort of talking to people when the game first came out and we were all like struggle bussing through solving casually, is that different people had very different experiences with different sets. So like for me, Constellation and Screen were some of the easiest sets in the game, and I breezed through them. And Binary, which we'll get to. Whereas other people like really, really struggled on those. And for me, it was Arch and Wrapping and Balance. Balance is coming up also, that I found super, super hard. And so it's just, it's pretty cool to see that just different brain logics wind up having strengths and weaknesses in this game, and it's not just an all or nothing sort of situation. So these levels are very quick, as would not be a surprise. So we will be doing all 3 of the screens. They're all very small. None of them have more than 9 nodes to them. So even at their worst, they are very quick to get through. They are not the fastest set of 3 anchors in the game. We can make that a bonus question on the quiz. You guys can make guesses on which set of anchors you think is the fastest overall. And we're done with floor 2. Screen is also the only set of anchors in the game that goes over multiple floors. Fun random fact.
Stretch the legs, you know?
Also, we're over halfway done, and therefore we get cake.
Nothing like what Cryosleep did to me, though.
That was said to us on the last set, but I talked over it.
Stray too far off course while we slept. I had to wake up every few months to keep us on track.
Now Juniper is complaining that she only gets to sleep for months at a time instead of years at a time.
Never been a morning person, but that gave a whole new meaning to waking up early.
I like that level. It's a triangle. Or a diamond, maybe. And then I also like, these are the last two levels. They're very similar, but they're slightly different in terms of how you handle that lower left section. And I like that. I like the similarity yet difference between them. So like the last one, you hit that lower left last, but this time you wrap around and get it beforehand. So we're done with the screens. Those were really fast. We're doing balance now, which I mentioned. I did not enjoy these casually. I had a lot of trouble with them. Basically, now our nipples, they look different than the pear nipples, but it's kind of similar. But we need an even number of the turquoise and yellow, and then we can go and get this like hippie-looking color in the middle, and that's actually going to wipe them out. So it'll clear the slate, and you can see how the floor changes to kind of indicate this. And you need to still light up all anchors, and you have to have, or all nodes, you have to have at least one of each color in balance in order to light up the hippie node. So you can't like just get all of the nipple pieces and then get the two hippie nodes at the end. That doesn't work. I've tried it.
Ever since being stuck here.
So now we're in the bathroom. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, this anchor is in the bathroom. This is probably my least favorite anchor, along with -3 in the game. I just really struggle with it. I don't know why. Pull my finger. I think that's what she just said.
Well, yeah, that's how gravity works. But it's more than that. I don't know. I haven't even told you about the probe yet.
She's a big fan of the probe. After you pull her finger. So a lot of the bugs that were found in this game were solved by the development team by just making those little barriers on the side of the nodes longer. That's one right there that got longer and longer as their fixes kept not working. So really, instead of fixing the problems, they just kind of tried to brute force their fixes to it. I'll point out another example later on that's like really egregious of this fix methodology. It's pretty funny, and it did actually work eventually, but now it's like the long node. Ugh. Have a little issue wrapping around, but we're just about completed with our balance anchors here. There we go. And now we're, again, we're going to another set that I really liked casually. I don't like it quite as much for the speedrun, mostly because the positioning of your robot on the level is not consistent from level to level. It's different on every single one. It is consistent within playthroughs, but you basically not only have to memorize your level solutions and which levels are which and which levels follow others, but you also have to memorize where your robot is starting so that you know in what direction to start moving once the level begins. So the gimmick, this is the pad set. Gimmick should be fairly obvious at this point. You need to light up all of the floor pads.
That's not quite accurate. The launch went fine. It was the landing that left a lot to be desired.
Yep, it's like the classic thing. Yes, I can fly an airplane, I just can't land it.
The probe was crammed with equipment. There wasn't a piece of data this thing couldn't collect. But we wanted more than that. We wanted samples. The plan
Thank you for the good luck, Reek.
on the planet's surface. It would embark from one end of this ravine to the other. Pistachio chose the location. Along its way, it would collect a variety of samples. Once it reached its destination, it would launch a capsule of the samples into orbit for us to collect. All right? So, back to the launch. All was good until the probe reached the...
It's important that you guys get the lore.
Instead of slowing slowing down, it started speeding up. It just kept accelerating towards the surface. We couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, so basically the ship here, the Alabaster, is orbiting around a planet called Arnold. And so they dropped a probe, and instead of landing on Arnold, it went straight through Arnold. Which is pretty weird. And they don't understand why that happened.
I'm sure you've been on your fair share of space vessels during your travels. Now, you may have noticed that the Alabaster has more origami swans than your average deep space vessel. Well, let me demystify you on the matter. Origami was one of Pistachio's fondest pastimes. And credit to her, she wasn't half bad. Her augmented hands probably helped her out. She started out making all sorts, but quickly found the swan to be her favorite. We'd find them in the weirdest places.
So it's an odd coincidence that Pistachio likes making origami swans, while the name of the captain is also Swan.
Just Pistachio.
Very, very much a coincidence.
Just of making us feel good. I miss those swans.
This level only has one solution. Most levels in this game have many solutions, just only one fastest one. This level only has one solution because of how tiny those pads are.
Do you want to know how this all started? I was just thinking about Pistachio some more. All of this.
Pistachio, my peanut.
After the failed.
So the anchor that we're coming up to here is the Builder anchor. It's the only set in the main game that doesn't have 3 anchors to it. It only has 1. It's a really cool concept, but I guess the developers just didn't have a way to do enough with it to get 15 puzzles out of it, so they only did 5. You can see that every time you light up one of the nodes, it builds walls around it, so you have to, like, except unless your butt rope is blocking it, and then they don't come up. So you have to use your butt rope to prevent walls coming up, otherwise you, like, block yourself out. It is weird to me that this is in the main game, because it would fit really well in the bridge. The bridge has almost 30 different anchors, and all of them are only 1
Canary who first realized the planet
anchor each, so like Builder would have fit really well. This is Mixing. Mixing is the other main set that has more than 1 robot. These levels are all really big brain and involve color theory and multi-robots.
And they just stopped for a time. Then the anomalies started to crop up again, but faster than before. We had to leave. If the timing of the anomalies before was anything more than coincidental, then we were in danger.
We were in danger,
Prepped a ship for long
Will
distance
Robinson.
travel so quickly before. Not that it mattered. We were all set to leave, but when we tried, we realized we couldn't escape the planet's gravity.
Uh-oh.
It was like it had somehow gained
So not only does Arnold have no
only harder.
surface to it, but it has, like, black hole levels of gravity.
Emergency meeting with the
Very suspicious.
He was as reliable as ever. Calm and collected. Our
But
first
Swan
instinct
to the
was
rescue.
robots, as we thought they might be small enough to escape the planet's pull. She told us to hold tight, though. It was her that
What am I
reminded
doing?
us where we were. On the frontier.
Alright,
Middle of nowhere.
we're fine.
Sure, we could probably escape, but we'd be light years away from civilization, in a canister.
Do
with
I have a
no
quick
rations
second?
and no
Yeah, go for it.
pods.
Wonderful. Ring Fit Adventure is coming up, and you get to choose the language of the voice actor. Currently, it's a tie between Japanese and English, each with $10, so whoever wants to make it either more enjoyable
They pitched
or,
it to the captain in that meeting.
well, whatever
They
you
called them
prefer, you
anchors.
can go for it.
With the captain's permission,
And, we
Aubergine
get
and
some more
Marmalade
incentives
began
coming
their
up,
work developing
but
the anchors.
I'll brief you all on
Never
that.
really stopped to
There's some
properly
juicy
explain
ones
them to me.
among
Just
those.
said that they were designed to block out
Thank you for
whatever
giving us
magic space waves
this
could bring us.
amazing story and gameplay and
Oh,
mechanics
that
and
and
puzzle
this
explanation, though. It's a
Gotta have them
breeze.
everywhere to cover the whole ship.
You
Cool.
make it look awesome.
Canary helped them, running around.
It's a lot easier when you have the solutions right in front of you. So the lore that we were the lore we were getting right now was explaining why the anchors exist. So this is our final set of anchors for main game. This is binary.
Help them anyway.
Thin yellow means down. and thick red means top.
They tore the place apart.
They do get harder than this with the concept, but the first 4 are just explaining how it works. So here we go. This is like the first real puzzle involving the concept.
Not fair of me, I know. I was in a bad place. I'm proud of how I acted at that time. Soon enough, the anchors were all over the ship, with just one place left to cover.
Yep, and so this is how
That actually meant I could be somewhat useful.
Juniper actually gets locked
Sit in the cockpit and keep tabs
in the
on
cockpit.
systems. Make sure the anchors were integrating properly.
So important. It's very important
No
lore.
wrong. The door was already closed when they flipped the switch.
And I don't have too much to explain here.
My whole console flared up and then shorted out.
The concept behind binary, I think, is pretty self-explanatory.
Make things worse, I spilled my coffee in the process.
My coffee.
I tried running out to the bridge to tell the others, but the door wouldn't open. I kept just mashing the release button. Nothing happened.
Why did I run past the door?
Never really felt claustrophobic before, but in that moment I did. I had to calm down, slow my breathing. It took Vermilion yelling through the door to finally get my head back together. Then, all I could do was wait.
All I could do was wait. Don't worry. Don't worry. The thrilling conclusion is coming right up.
We spent a few days trying to get the door open. I'm not sure what the others were doing, but the noise, it was unbearable. The cockpits on research vessels.
So this is also the level that I mentioned earlier, that the devs like hacked the solution together. Look at how long these are. Oh my god. I mean, it worked, but Jesus Christ, they wound up making some really long blockers.
Then, after a few days, the noise, it just stopped. It left. I don't blame them.
Yeah, so they locked Juniper in the cockpit and then pieced out without her. It's like pretty rude, if you ask me.
I doubt I would have left given the chance. So yeah, like I said, I don't blame them.
She's like very resigned to her fate. I don't blame them. I don't blame them. They just left me for dead in the cockpit with 2 flavors of paste. This is our final level of main game right here. I'm gonna need some chat participation though. So there's one piece of RNG. So far there's been no RNG in this game, but there is one very large piece of RNG. Can swing up to about 30 seconds in the run. We get a random code. So I need your guys' help to write down the code in chat in case I'm like dumb and forget it.
If you get yourself to the bridge door, we should be able to.
Also, I need to spin around like a doofus, because that "huh" is a separate series of dialogue, and it only triggers if you're moving in front of the door.
Okay.
If you're just standing stationary waiting for it, it doesn't trigger. It triggers on like the game recognizing that you moved into it. So. All right, here's the code, and this is random every playthrough. 9 5
6
9 5 6 10 9 5 shoot 6. Oh, this is completely. Wait, 9 5 6. Okay, so I screwed the last one up. Now we just have to wait for it. So not only is the code random every time, but the starting position of these moving nodes is different every time as well. And so if I was better, just make sure 9 5 6 10. So if I was better, we wouldn't have to wait for this. I would have been ahead of it. But it was partly RNG and partly me not being good at that puzzle.
What the?
So yeah.
Oh my god.
So we got into the airlock.
They didn't leave.
And this is one of the big reveals of the game. Juniper thought that everyone left her, but
However, in the corner.
all the ships are still there. The pods, and and some of them are like exploded, so they didn't leave. So now she doesn't know where they are. It's a mystery. But we can now get into the bridge. The numbers were the code to get into the airlock. They will not be on the quiz, so you're okay there. Mild epilepsy, bright light warning for people right here.
I'd like to say this is where the magic happens, but in this context, the magic would be an inability to drive away from a dangerous...
This anchor is called glitch.
otherwise known as
The pathways all go on the floor. Wait, why didn't that
yourself
work?
at home.
What did I don't know what I screwed up. Just go back to the beginning. Oh, I know what I screwed up. No, I don't, actually. I'm confused. I don't know what I screwed up. Okay, it worked. But yeah, so these three are a little bit of color issues for people, potentially. And they get more complex, each of these three, and more convoluted of what the pattern on the floor is. So they're kind of like Screen, but just harder and less obvious.
Think about...
So we're gonna, there's like 27 different anchors here, and they unlock different other anchors. So there's a ton of different routing options in terms of the correct pathway. Plus there's 3 different final anchors that will all unlock the cockpit. So there, overall, there's like hundreds of different combinations that you can do to unlock the cockpit. And so I ran those numbers to figure out the absolute fastest method of the bridge to get in, and that's what you're seeing here. This is huge shift. I don't really know a good way to explain it, so just enjoy the pretty colors. I know the solution, but I don't fully understand how it works.
How can you still want to help me after what you saw down?
So you guys remember Requisite from like real early in the game that we breezed through. This is Requisite combined with pads.
Persistent.
So we need all of the pads lit up, all the nodes lit up, but the nodes have to be done in a specific order, otherwise they are darked out. And that's based on both the nodes and the pads. So there's a lot of complexity. We did do a good thing for you.
Wish I could say the same.
Yeah, I know. You're not being nice, Swaniper. She also called us a tryhard in there. These were fun puzzles, casually. That's the wrong one. 50-50 chance that I should be able to get every time. So there are 2 different jigsaw derivatives here in the bridge. This is the longest single level in the entire game, including all of the anchors that we skip. Sadly, even with this path, we can't get rid of this pathway. This anchor in general is super convenient, and it is still by far the fastest bridge route, even doing this anchor. So even though that this level alone is like a minute long, it still winds up being fastest overall. And also, Bowden recently found a new faster solution, by a little bit faster solution, on Pair Jigsaw 3. So that's a little bit helpful too, saving a little bit of time on this anchor, but sadly there is no faster solution to that Pair Jigsaw 1. That is the fastest solution that exists, that is known to all robot kind. So this is the level. We have a new solution here. I will try to actually remember it. Yep, there we go. So basically we cut out like just some movement here in that bottom section and replace it with a little bit shorter movement, backtracking to get that blue piece there. Nice. And then there's 3 anchors that only have 1 puzzle, but all 3 of them collectively need to be done. So instead of like most of these anchors having 3 puzzles for 1 anchor, this is 3 anchors with 1 puzzle each, but you have to do all of them. This is angles. This is another one I don't know how it actually works, so just enjoy the solution.
You're not really the right person to talk.
This is toggle. Toggle is going to be really fast. It's the only level that doesn't have sound effects playing when you get the nodes, and it's really not satisfying. And that was toggle. This is colored screens. It's my favorite set in the whole game, if I can start it off properly. So it combines screens, which I really like, and then it combines pairs. It starts getting multi-screens in. It gets some wrapping in it as well. There's a ton of different concepts that all get put together in colored screens, and I think it's really creative in terms of how the solutions work and how they all combine together. And I just really like it a lot. Yeah, no, toggle is super, super fast of a level, and because it only has the 1 puzzle, it's there and then it's gone. Oh, that bug still exists apparently. I thought that one was fixed. So there's another one. There's another one of the lingering bugs. Second one that I found today. But they're definitely harder to trigger. The devs have tried, not always succeeded, but they have tried to fix as many of these issues as we've been able to find. Ugh. Never happened before? No, it's happened many, many times before, but I thought it was fixed. That is a well-known bug. And we'll backwalk here into binary pairs. So the binary, instead of being colors, it was just the thickness on them. They were all white. So this is broken requisite. This is a really unique set. So it combines the requisite mechanic, but then it uses kind of an anti-negative mechanic. So you actually need to use the broken to help you in terms of like by breaking and unbreaking in specific spots. And so this is now like, instead of the first one was broken requisite, this is effectively broken archway. And then the last one is like broken pairs. But these 3 are super unique levels to the game. They're really creative. I love that you have to then use even another. That's the only place in the game where you use an opposite colored nipple to intentionally break. And so here's our final anchor. This is color wrapping. Again, so we already had this concept introduced to us earlier through the colored screens. It had color wrapping in it, but then this one. So this is effectively colored screen 2 and 3, but without the screen part of it. And the puzzles involving it are more complex, but lots and lots of just kind of weaving our way back and forth here. And we're going to do one final little glitch as soon as we finish this. It's the same glitch that we did one of the times at the beginning of the run. We're just going to basically speed up a cutscene and skip it through flipping to a different save file and then flipping back again to this one. And it winds up saving a little bit of time because it's a really slow narration waiting for it all to play out before the impossible level. No, not options. that was slow. Bad menuing on the runner's part.
Hey, would you look at that?
So yeah, so we have to wait for a whole bunch of voiceover, and the impossible level anchor slowly rises up from the ground. And so doing that, now it's up. So impossible level, guys, it's going to be super, super hard. And completed. Impossible level.
But now, I guess...
Now, Asparagus, there's only 4 minutes left in the run, but good night, my friend.
You really are something, you know.
So,
never met anyone.
we're basically done. The big reveal, we are into the cockpit, and what? There's no Juniper.
All right.
We got played, y'all.
I don't know why you had to do this.
Got bamboozled, hoodwinked. We got shown the razzle dazzle. Debated.
Filament ship like that.
But we still rocking those sweet dungarees.
Business. I tried, you know. They're always watching me, but I tried.
So, yup, it was Swan talking to us all along, and not Juniper.
I had to do this.
So we basically just gave control of the ship back to the Filament Corporation when
now I'm out of options.
Marmalade and Aubergine worked so hard to keep Filament out of the ship. We are not a good guy, guys.
Goodbye, Pluto.
Yeah, Swan didn't really try hard enough. But they're always watching her. So yeah, so I didn't want to spoil anything, so I only name dropped it late into here, but that's we refer to the voice as Swaniper because it's Swan pretending to be Juniper. So we just have a kind of escape sequence that we do now, and it'll finish up the lore as well. Wow, we were caught on the anchor. So the ship self-destructing. Gotta mosey our way out here. Ugh. Make our way. Hurry! Oh god, it feels like the end of Super Metroid. Save or kill the shipmates. Oh, what just happened? Okay. This is not our ship. But you know what, guys? We've got no arms. We've got no arms. We're running along to the beach, but we've got no arms. We've got no hair. Don't really care. But we got no arms. We got some legs, so we can run. But we got no arms. So yeah, so we have no arms. It's all mentioned throughout the storyline. That like Pistachio and Marmalade and Juniper all have augmentations, and that we have augmentations as well. And so the reason is that so that when they got, and then you find out that Pistachio goes missing, and the only thing that's remaining is Pistachio's augmented hand. And so that's kind of the clue here, is that when you get teleported off the ship by the Filament Corporation, your augments don't go with. Time is coming up, by the way. 3, 2, time. Yes, did not know the airspeed velocity of a swallow. So that's Filament. It's kind of a chill memorization-based speedrun. Amazing casual game. 40 to 50 hours of content. You guys missed out on a bunch of the other anchors, bunch of the bridge anchors, and all of the environmental puzzles. There are 60 environmental logic puzzles hidden throughout the entire world. There's also tons more lore in the game. We solved, I think, about 150 puzzles for this any percent run, and I think all anchors has like 250 puzzles, somewhere in that range. So it's like 40 to 50 hours worth of content. Highly recommend it. Well worth the purchase if you like hard puzzle games. So yeah, I've been Tasselfoot. Give me a follow. I'll be back tomorrow evening, early evening, doing Untitled Goose Game. Very, very different sort of a game, but definitely a honkin' good time. So thank you everybody for the donations during the run. Keep watching and donating, and stay tuned for Ring Fit. Get your exercise in. Make sure to get up and move around. Emulate the runner during the runs. Stay tuned for Ape Out as well after that. All the other good stuff coming up through the rest of the day. And make sure to come back for Goose Game tomorrow. Right here. Different goose time, but same goose channel. I try to do what I can.
Awesome. Thank you. That was a blast out of nowhere. I didn't see it coming. Both the ending and how amazing this one was. Thank you, Tasselfoot. And we're heading right over to intermission.
Hey, thanks for having me.
GG, and have a good time. See you again tomorrow.
What's at the bottom of your ocean? What's at the bottom of your ocean? Live in the water. Jump out of your tree. Bottom of your ocean. It's past the surface. Don't end up like that bitch. At the bottom of your ocean. The water is safe.